Okay, so I don't know about you, but whenever I talk about saving the environment or preserving the environment, I always get these weird looks. It's like saving the environment is not seen as masculine. Oh, what? You want to save the turtles? Or pick up trash at the beach? Or recycle? That's great and very noble of you. But isn't that for like children? Don't they do that on their spare time? They don't really foresee or envision like big, tough looking masculine men picking up trash at a beach. And they see it as like a righteous thing to do, you know, no doubt about that. But it's typically associated with like average looking people, maybe young looking or just weak or, you know, just nothing really truly outstanding, right? Like no thug or gang member or bodybuilder, they're not gonna be picking up trash at the beach or recycling bottles or maybe even like cutting out meat. Meat is for like those big tough looking guys, right? Protein, that's what makes guys tough. So in this video, in response to that, I'm gonna be doing something out of the ordinary. So here I have my pajamas, and I've been wearing this for like 10 years, but there is a hole in it. The hole actually is at the center or the bottom near the crotch area. So here's my finger right through the hole, and instead of like throwing it away or recycling it, I'm actually gonna sew it back up. Yes, that's right, I'm gonna sew it. So sewing and repairing extends the life of the pants for like another 5 years, up until maybe the strings rip again. So this technically is like recycling at its finest. Just reusing the pants for another 5 years, so that'll extend this pants for 15 years. And in the meantime, I'm probably just gonna be showing you how to sew with my limited knowledge, and probably just rant along the way, explaining about how wrong this mindset is when it comes to whether or not like saving the environment is for sissies. So how I'm gonna sew this up is with my sewing kit that I got basically at the dollar store. It comes with the regular like sewing needle, some thread, some scissors. That's really all you need. So here's what the sewing kit comes with. I just took out the needle already. What you really need is just the needle and the thread. The color of the pants. So my pants color is dark blue, so I have dark blue thread. The hardest part really is just getting the thread through the needle. I'll be showing you how to do that. So you see how much thread I pulled out. I basically cleared up my desk just to get the thread, needle, and this little device that will help you get the thread through the needle if you need assistance to it. Now, how does this help you get the thread through the needle faster or easier? I'll show you. First, you get your needle, and you get this. Insert, if you can see, there's a little loop on this little plastic thing. Insert this little loop into the eye of the needle. Now you can see, basically, this is in the eye of the needle. Now that this little metal part is sticking out, get your thread, put it through this little device right here, not through the eye of the needle because it's already occupied. Put it through. Once that's through, now you will pull this device out, and now you have the thread attached to the needle. So now that the thread is in the needle, pull it up all the way so that now you have the thread hanging in the middle and that both sides of the thread are basically even. So see how these are both the ends of the thread. I'm just gonna make that so that the needle is at the very center or the midpoint of it. Alright, welcome back to Sewing 101. Okay, now that you have the thread through the eye of the needle and it's at the center, the midpoint of both ends of the thread, here's how you will lock this thread together. So what you will do is, here's the pointy part, here's the thread part. See how they are on opposite ends? I'm going to now put them together, put them like an X, and hold on to it with one finger. So you see how the needle is on top of the thread. Needle is on top of the thread. Then I will take this string part and wrap it around the top of the needle 3 times. So again, just the needle is on top of the thread. Wrap it around on top of the needle. So 1, 2, 3. Very bad angle, but now I have the needle on top of the thread wrapped around 3 times. Now I will take my thumb and on top of those 3 wrapped threads, squish it down, grab the tip of the needle, and sort of just slide my thumb down, still with the thread and the needle. So my thumb, if I let go, still has the 3 wrapped around threads. Okay. I'm just gonna pull it down all the way, still holding onto it. You see now, my thumb, if I let go, has the threads. And it's just gonna go all the way down to the very end. Once it stops, it should have a little loop from those 3 wraparounds. So in the end, you should have the needle at the center, or the midpoint of the thread, and if you follow the instructions, I know you can't really see that much, you should have this little bundle, this little loop that stops it. So if I were to sew it, this little bump should actually stop the thread from going completely through the pants. Alright, if you didn't get any of that, go and watch an actual professional sewing video, because I'm not going to be explaining that again. But even so, I have the needle, got my pants, and now I'm going to be sewing it. So now the sewing and ranting begins. I know I have to sew it in the inside because then you'll see the thread lines on the outside, and you don't really want to show that. So I'm just going to stab it through the center. So back in high school actually was when I first got introduced to like community club. Community club is like your key club in high school. And what we did was like just servicing community members. We didn't really focus so much on the environment, but we did do events like tree planting, picking up trash, and all of that was actually led by a female. She was actually one of my long-term like high school crushes, but she was a strong leader, and that made me realize that we didn't really have much guy leaders in my high school. So just the fact that they took initiative to organize these events, they actually have the courage to initiate one of these clubs. Then once I got into like undergraduate college, I mean there's clubs everywhere. There's like frats and sororities and other, random clubs that you can join throughout your college. Some environmental science club. A good majority of their staffs, their directors, their leaders, whether it be the president or vice president, still female. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not like super pro-feminist or anything, but their leading it is impressive. And I don't have anything against that. I'm not going to follow only male presidents or male whoever. It doesn't matter your gender, so long as you're a strong leader, I'll follow you. And if you happen to be a female who was leading it, then so be it. I don't see why people are so scared of the fact that a gender has to be the one leading. And aside from academics, now you have people like Greta Thunberg. So she's like a political figure at this point in the environmental section at least. But she's one girl, and she's much younger than me. So now you have a young female who happens to take headlines and is leading the environmental movement. So again, I'm trying to notice a trend here where it's just young like females who are taking the stance to organize these movements. And of all things, I'm actually very happy and proud to see that they actually have the courage, or excuse my language, but they have the balls to do something against these issues. And even at my work, my previous general manager, so the entire head of the engineering floor, was a female. She left because she went on to move to a different higher position at the corporate level. But again, just the fact that she was the head engineer is already impressive enough. Anyway, so I know I didn't really show how to sew, but I'm almost done with this. Let's see the results. Can you even notice the hole? I don't think so. Look at that. No more hole. My finger cannot go through it. Although I might want to double sew it just so it's doubly thick. But yeah, you don't see the hole anymore. Well, that was sort of therapeutic. And I realized I didn't even rant that much. But even so, I do want to make a point that just because you're doing something environmentally related and it's like sustainable and righteous, that doesn't mean that it's just for young people, weak people, or sissies. doing the right thing doesn't have to be masculine or feminine. You know, I work for the military and the Air Force, and they're more than willing to pick up trash after their PT session, after their training sessions. So you have military personnel working out, and then after they're done working out, now they pick up trash at the beach. You know, you can still be tough and do the right thing. Whether you love to eat meat or not, you know, protein is protein, and whether it comes from meat or plants. Got strong people on my side, but they're not going to make fun of you just because you want to do the right thing. Just because you want to save the turtles or recycle doesn't mean that you're in any way a weak person. Doing the right thing is not limited to your gender or like your masculinity. You can be a strong leader in no matter what subject or field you're in. Again, just given my examples from like high school to college to work, and even now these political figures, they're strong leaders in any side of the coin. So, I mean, that's all I have for the video. This is like the most random thing I've ever made, really. It's just really good to know that anyone can do this. Alright, that's all I have for the video. Goodbye.